Alright, hello everyone, my name is Shep, welcome back to the Butcher Circus, and here we are again with the Fortnite background because I've actually grown quite accustomed to it. I don't mind having it there. I think it looks cool, honestly. Like, it kind of contrasts the brutality of the Butcher Circus, like with the trees and all that in there in the symbol. So there's that. Today we are playing with Well-balanced Stiletto Grave Robber, so it's a trinket that you don't usually see, and it's a very novel trinket because you can see it has a lot of things. Basically, what this trinket is used for is kind of doing a mix and match between melee abilities and ranged abilities. And how you do that is usually what you go for, and this is how to make the trinket actually C tier, because the other way of making it is really bad. But what I usually do is I just spam flashing daggers, which is a decent ability. And after that you can go for a death blow with the lunge, and you see on range attack hit you get death blow chance dealt melee skills, which is quite good. On melee hit you get a lot of damage, crit and accuracy for range, but on melee hit to use your range skills either you have to go for a lunge first and then flashing daggers, which is weird, or you have to go pick to the face, which is even weirder, so I don't typically use it that way. I'm just gonna pass with my Crusader here. I think this is perfectly okay. And today we're gonna be playing against the Goliath comp. So we're playing with a relatively decent team here. We have kind of something that I stole from J-Man. We just have the chest or Grave Robber combo, so we can use flashing daggers, and then we can use Harvest. So we're just gonna bleed their midline, and then we have a Crusader Flagellant front line because, you know, they just go well with right about everything. I needed a support character, so the Flagellant is good for that with his heals, and I also needed myself kind of an all-rounder, so you just can't go wrong with the Crusader. Right now I will just go for flashing daggers because I kind of want to see what my opponent does, and that is a very good flashing daggers. We apply the debuff on the Crusader, which means that our bleed chance is now actually decent, and we also do some very okay damage. This does give you plus 10% damage, so even if you don't make use of the other things, you can, you know, still get something out of it, which is nice. I do very much like it. I don't think this is a great trinket by any means, but once you do actually bring finisher with it, actually that's kind of like a mineral, so that was good for me. Once you do bring finisher with it, with the lunge, after you go for a ranged ability, you're actually going to have a 90% death blow chance without even having to go for the Shadow Fade, so it is quite nice for getting those kind of like surprise death blows. It is pretty good for that. So here I could have dropped a Reclaim on the Crusader, but I decided to drop a Punish instead to just try hurting this this Leper, but I kind of regret my decision already. Do they have finisher there? No, they don't. I regret my decision already. I don't think they would have dealt enough. I didn't think they would do enough damage, and my bleed didn't really cause too much of an impact. So I probably shouldn't have gone for that. If I go for a heal right now, I just get stunned, so it won't really change anything if I do decide to go for a heal. So instead I'm just gonna go for a stun on this Crusader, and hope that I will not get immediately death blowed. That's what I'm gonna have to go for here. I could have dropped a Reclaim on the Crusader, probably would have kept him alive that way. Maybe not for long, but it would have helped here. The Leper's damage I've dealt to the Leper doesn't really change anything, so definitely kind of a misplay on my part. So there goes the Dirk Snap. I stay alive though, which is really clutch that I do actually survive that. Even if not for long, surviving it for a little bit is very much appreciated. I do not get to go first, so that's kind of unfortunate. So it's not like I'll be able to just drop her claim now, and if she doesn't go for heal, I'll be totally fine. But she's probably going to go Flare into Holy Lance. At least that's what I think they want to do here. It's what I would do, so that's what I imagine they're gonna do too. Before that happens, I am gonna drop a Punish on this Jester because I do want to win the Jester War. I do need to win the Jester War, because if I don't, I'm definitely gonna lose this. So I'm gonna drop that, and I'm gonna wait to see what they do. They're just gonna go for that move, so I'm gonna drop a Flashing Daggers, hope that I get a crit for 14. I do not get a crit for 14, I get a crit for 13, which is nice. That Crusader is eating a lot of damage from the Grave Robber here, so good job. They have a 40% chance of getting a death blow now. They had a 60, which they didn't get. Now they have a 40, but they're gonna go sniper shot on my Jester. And one thing I can do, though, is just move forward with a Dirk Snap, right? And what that means is they'll have to kill me immediately, they'll have to drop a Finale on me, and then my Jester will be able to stay alive. So I'm gonna do this, and if they don't drop a Finale on me immediately, I'll just kill their Crusader, and that's a positive trade for me. So yeah, they have to kill my Jester right now, and if they do that, they go down to their store. They will go to the back, so that's good for them. But I will then be able to do something. I kind of wish they got a crit there, actually. Kinda wish they got a crit. I could heal myself, or I could go for a killing blow. This is a 40. Healing myself is okay, but it's not great. I have to get a kill. Yeah, sadly, you can't really reach with melee skills all the way to the back, so I'm not going to be able to make use of it. I'm going to have to get a Panic Dart skill. Oh, thank God it actually works. Okay, and now they have a 40 of killing my Crusader. Hopefully they don't get it. Hopefully. If they don't get it, I'm actually in a very decent position to actually take this match. Of course, this isn't the most competent team, and playing against something like the Goliath comp is not a good matchup any day of the week, because Goliath comp is really solid. But that is quite nice. They're most definitely going to go for the 40 now. This is why I feel like you should have finish on your Arbalist, because now they don't have any finishers. They do still have Writ of Execution, so that helps a little bit. But they should definitely have a finisher on their Arbalist. Even though you like to heal, with the finisher, you can get those with a bit more of a confirmed chance. So they could have lost the match right there, but they didn't. So that's good for them. I'm going to drop a punish. He's probably just going to heal himself, but after that, I only have 2 offensive actions, and they have 2 healers plus the lepers, so I don't really think I'm gonna be able to get a death blow here. They're gonna go for the purge, so let's say goodbye to my corpses. The Grave Robber is gonna go with the slip and slide, I guess. And yeah, this is not looking too fancy for me, not at all. Do I think that if I dropped the Reclaim on that Crusader earlier, would that have really changed it all that much? Would that have made a huge difference? I think it could have helped. I'm not sure if it would have made a huge difference, so that's kind of the thing. You know what, my only way of winning this is through stress, so I'm gonna go Panic Darts on that Crusader, because I need him to go Afflicted and pass if I do want to have a winning chance. Even then it's very small, but it is still there. This is not the point where you surrender, not yet at least. Not when you have Panic Darts and the Punish to apply some stress. So they have to go for the heal right now. After which I will just drop a punish and hope that I do enough. Oh, they healed for 12, that's the max roll. Okay, come on. Okay, I do 8, that's just enough. And I get a bleed too, that's nice. What affliction are they gonna get? Are they gonna go virtuous? Oh god, yeah, well, GG's, they played that well, but Well-balanced Stiletto Grave Robber is not gonna take this match, but we will take her for a second spin, so let's see how that goes. And would you look at that, we're actually going to have a rematch against HandAki, so I forgot to mention their name the previous round, but we're going to have a rematch against them. They have Riposte, which is not very fun to deal with, but what can you do? And they also have Materia Pestis. Well, I barely have any reach to the backline, so this isn't going to be the funnest match to play with. But we'll try making it work. We do have a Flagellant, so we do have that going for us. You have a very tanky man-at-arms here, which is definitely a thing you can run. And I'm just gonna have to find a way to kind of prevent this Repulse from destroying me, and at the same time kind of preventing this Materia Pestis from just completely melting my team. As well as winning the Crusader War, that is very important. I do want to drop a stun on them if they do not go for a stun right now, which is probably what they're gonna do. Now they're just gonna spam B-Smile. Most likely, or are they going to transform? No, they're going to transform first before they start going for their biles. Interesting. Very interesting. They're going to go for the Slam of the Crusader. How much damage does it do? 12? Yeah, that's alright, I guess. I could drop a Holy Lance into a lunge, into a Dirk Stab. But keep in mind that they always have the guard if I do decide to go that crazy. But I'm gonna do it anyway. Here goes Holy Lance, hits for minimum. Oh boy, this is a fun start. Oh, okay, it's fine. It's perfectly fine. If that had hit for a lot, Lunge here could have actually dealt enough damage to bring him down to 0. And then, you know, I could go Dirk Stab if they did decide to guard. If they decided to heal, I could just go Punish. And then if they decided to guard, I could just go Dirk Stab and I would potentially just get the death blow there. But such is not the way of the Butcher Circus, unless I get a lunge crit right now. Come on, give it to me. Or at least just a very, very, very high roll. Crit chance on lunge is fantastic. It's 12. It's, I mean 22, but we get essentially a min roll as well. Oh boy. Oh boy, this is not how I envisioned this team. Yeah, it's just really unfortunate that you'd miss. I mean, not miss, but that you'd do such a minimal amount of damage. It's just sad, you know. Really, really sad because this is a solid team. Like, I'm not saying it's great. It's definitely not great, but it is solid. And seeing it fail so miserably, it is quite miserable indeed. And of course, you also want to go first, right? So there's that. I could just drop a harvest. I could. They do have accuracy, so if I move forward, I'm gonna get stunned. But if I don't move forward, I'm gonna get stunned too on the grave robbers. So I kind of just have to make a call here. Who do I want to get stunned with? I'm gonna go for Dirk Stab, which doesn't do enough, but you know, it's 6 to 11. You can expect it not to do 9. And here goes the stun as expected, after which, yeah, stuns are kind of annoying, but now I'm just gonna drop a punish, and we'll see where that takes us. It's probably gonna be a de-transform self-heal. Their Festering Vapors didn't actually do all that well, it only hit 2 of my characters. Got a crit on the Crusader, which is really annoying, but I can't complain too much if it only hit 2 characters. Maybe it hit Grave Robber as well, but just didn't apply the Blight. That is also a possibility. Let's see, what do they want to do here? Of course... Oh, now I actually have the damage and crit for range skills. Wait, what? Where's the accuracy? Oh no, on ranged plus accuracy for melee skills. So, oh, I actually didn't even see that. I didn't know you'd have plus accuracy for melee skills. I just noticed it. Yeah, I guess that helps with the launch, but you know, with 100 and what is this, 130 accuracy plus the battle bow that I usually have, it shouldn't make too much of a difference. So I'm gonna go for 50-50. We do take it, and that is really, really good for me, because now you're down a character. I still have Finale and I have Flagellant. So even with that pretty unfortunate match start, we're doing quite well. Of course, Festering Vapors is going to completely wreck my team, and that's of course what they're going for, which is what they should be going for. But this isn't looking too shabby. This is not looking too shabby. I could be going for Acclaims here. I will think about the Acclaim after I go for my Holy Lance. Please don't miss. Okay, there we go. That's a nice 18. They're going to be forced to guard there if they want to keep their Antiquarian alive, so that's good for me. They're going to waste an action on it. And, of course, they get... Oh, it's not enough, actually. It's not enough. Oh, thank goodness. It's not enough to drop me down to 0, so I'm just going to drop a Reclaim here so I don't eat that much DOT. And, yeah, just keep my Jason out of this door. That is going to be the play here. If they try going for a double stun, their stun chance is actually only a 65, so it is not that great. It could come back to bite them. So yeah, that's definitely a defender, you know, as expected. And now I would still like to have my Crusader Holy Lance, but oh well. Yeah, you know, as expected. How do I break through this now is the question. How do I break through this? Because I'm on a timer. I'm definitely on a timer. I could just try knocking out this Crusader with the Panic Darts. I could try knocking out the Men-at-Arms with the Panic Darts. Both are kind of smart. I'm gonna keep my Crusader action for now. I'm gonna go for the Panic Darts here. I'm gonna do that on the MAA, just try blighting him out here. That's gonna be the play, because there's really nothing else I can really do. You definitely need Panic Darts on a team like this, because Flashing Daggers just suffers immensely against... Was that 3 crits in a row, by the way? It was, wasn't it? That was 3 crits in a row. Yeah, she got a crit round 1, 2, and 3. I guess command buffs equals crits, but that's just Antiquarian RNG for you right there. Antiquarian RNG at its finest. What I could go for here is just the Holy Lance and then eat the stun with my Crusader instead of the Jester. I would honestly prefer that. I'm gonna do this, it's not gonna do much. I could have gone for it on the corpse and then try to get rid of the corpse that way and then just using Harvest Flashing Daggers. Oh, I should have done that. I should have done that. It's not the end of the world though, so we'll be fine here. I'm gonna click, I won't take enough stress. Monkey Spot is only +1, and now I'm gonna do this. That corpse is gonna go away eventually anyway, so... He still has minus bleed resistance, which is good, and now we get to do a big heal here on the boys. I could go for an X-Sang on the corpse. It can miss! It can miss! Oh, this silly game. Do I heal the Jester? What do I want to do here? I definitely have to heal because they have Finisher. Oh, the hit chances are so bad. Maybe I go Virtuous. Maybe I go Virtuous and that saves us the match. Maybe, maybe. We have to hope that's what happens here. We do have to hope. He's not quite gone, but he will be gone after another harvest. I guess that's gonna be harvest, panic darts, eating a stun, maybe a zealous, and you're just gonna try making yourself useful. Yeah, here goes the stun. No crit, thankfully, so no extra stress. And now I could just click here and go virtuous, but before doing that, I'm gonna drop another panic darts here. So yeah, let's drop it. Keep doing some DOT. We do get a crit on it, which is quite nice. That gives us some dodge. That could be helpful. He has to go for another command buff, unless he just wants to start missing here. So are they gonna go for it? Yeah, more command buffs. They're smart. You know, they're definitely playing this well. I will have to say their team isn't the greatest either, but they are definitely playing it quite well. I will go virtuous here if I click. I mean, I will go afflicted here if I click. I still have a choice of using ballad, but I really want to get rid of the corpse, and I really want to drop harvest as well. Are we gonna play without ballad today? Is that what's gonna go down? Yeah, I don't think I have time for ballad here. I'm gonna regret it, but I do not have time for ballad. I just need to spam harvest. Here goes the harvest. Now the abomination corpse will be gone for sure, and you are bleeding and blighting out like no tomorrow, which is nice. And come on, give me the virtue. 4 crits in 4 rounds, by the way, and I don't think I got the virtue. It's still at 100 stress. Yeah, I got the reverse virtue. I got abusive. Oh, I don't think I could have gotten any worse than that. I can hit my other characters. Oh, they can all get stunned really hard too. That's terrible. That's actually terrible. Okay, I'm gonna punish this Crusader. Wow, 12 bleed. Oh my god, that actually changes the match completely. Like, this is the difference between getting a punish crit and not getting it. That's why going under 14%, like 40% HP is just so massive. Because I could have literally punished this Crusader for like 4 and no bleed, or I could punish him for 12 and bleed for 24. It's just insane, absolutely insane what you can do with this. So now I still have minus healing skills. I have to heal, that's for sure. I'm gonna click here, I'm gonna go for a redeem on the Jesser actually, because I want to keep his actions. I want to keep him alive so I can actually drop a finale sometime. I'm not sure if I'll be able to drop it for a bit, but what I want to do is stun the Crusader and then drop a finale by the start of next round or by sometime next round. Because if I stun the Crusader right now, he won't be able to stun me, which is going to be awesome. I don't think he lost the guard yet because freaking Protector's Kite is really good. And please, don't, abusive, don't. Okay, that's just stress. I say just stress, it's still pretty bad, but you know, at the very least it's not a stun Jester lose match, so could have been worse. I'm gonna go for the stun here, which does a lot of damage, because even with the melody buff, because abusive is plus damage, which is nice. And now they're bleeding out to this door, which is good, but 5 crits in 5 rounds, by the way. Jesus, god damn, stop critting! Why do you have Antiquarian RNG? Antiquarian? And now I could go harvest flashing daggers, or I could go... you're dropping. That's for sure, you're dropping. Do I think I can do 8 with a flashing daggers? Nah, there's no way. There's no world where I do 8 with a flashing daggers. Let's see. Oh, if I crit! Oh, 7 on the man-at-arms. Imagine if I had done 8 there. Would have been really fun. But no, I only did 7. Well, now I have... Oh, no, okay, I thought there was a move back, but that's fine actually. We are gonna go Rapturous here, that's okay. And now we can go for... How many buffs do we have? We have a few. Dirk Stab, Dirk Stab. I think knocking out the Crusader is the smartest thing to do here. I mean, knocking her to 0 is really smart too. I'm gonna knock her down to 0. She's more important than the Crusader right now. Yeah, I think this is smarter. If she doesn't go for like any sort of defensive action, I might just drop Dirk Stab on her again and see if I get the death blow that way. I might unironically just do that. Would be really cool if you could bypass guard with well-balanced Stiletto, like with the melee skills. So on range attack hit, bypass guard melee skills. Like that would be epic, but oh well. Okay, they're gonna do that, and they surrender because they saw that they weren't gonna have a good time. So GG, that was actually really close against my opponent there. I did appreciate that match, and we took back the darkest one. So the thing is, I still had the finale. I wasn't gonna be able to get finale off immediately, but I had flashing daggers, I had Dirk Stab, and this is just a solid team. I do like it. I think J-Man played something very similar. It maybe even this team, but if J-Man did play it, I think he played with super heal flatulence. I think he played it like this or something. So that's very funny. But yeah, definitely a solid team. Do give it a try. Well-balanced Stiletto is just a decent trinket. I don't think we even got to see that 90% death blow, but I do have a replay, which we will watch with post-match commentary. So yeah, we'll hopefully be able to see that well-balanced Stiletto death blows. Alright, and here we go, on to some post-match commentary. So this is a match I played earlier today, and I was trying this team out. I'm not sure if it was the first match I tried with this team, but it was definitely one of them. And we are playing against Violet, and they have kind of a Goliath comp as well. It's not really a Goliath comp because there's a Shieldbreaker instead of a Crusader, but they have that Shieldbreaker and just drop an immediate expose on my Jester, so you can imagine my Jester is not going to have a good time. So Shieldbreaker did have that Eerie Eye, which is quite an interesting trinket to bring on her, because she definitely likes it. She likes the accuracy, she likes the bypass stealth, kind of likes the bypass stealth. You already have exposed for that, but she also gets plus 20% debuff chance, which lets her apply that plus crits received. And it's the only ability in the Butcher Circus that actually gives you plus crits received chance on your opponent. So it is quite nice that she has it. But to get that, you have to sacrifice her dodge trinkets, which means that my chance of actually hitting her is 100%. And if you hit her with stuns, she takes quite a beating. Even if the Arbalest goes flare right now, she will take quite a huge beating. So I did not get to go first, which is annoying for sure, because my Reclaim won't be as valuable as it usually is, but here we go with the flashing daggers. So this is looking like a pretty decent match. The Well-balanced Stiletto almost gets a 9/11 reference, only hits for 8 on the Shieldbreaker though, and there goes the Sniper Shot crit, of course. So if the Arbalest was getting crits before the expose, it's definitely getting crits after the expose. So at this point I have to drop a Reclaim here, and the Jester can get a 60% death blow chance. So there is a question, you know, you ask yourself, like, why would you go for that Reclaim there if there's a chance that Jester just gets the death blow, and then you're completely freaking screwed, because you just lost, like, I don't know, like, a character and 2 actions because of that. Well, it is quite annoying, I will admit, but if you do take it and you do make use of that regen, you win the match. But if you don't, then your Flagellant was just not very useful at that point. So here goes a chop onto this Crusader, and now you might be wondering why I went for Zealous instead of a stun there. It's because I'm playing very quickly, because I wasn't commentating. So when I'm not commentating, I tend to play a lot quicker. What happened was I could not go for a stun or the Arbalest would get flare value, so instead I just had to drop a Zealous, which did some very decent damage to kind of soften that Jester into making a punish actually drop him down to 0. Even though the Arbalest got a pretty solid heal, because she does have a healing trinket, I believe, we managed to drop her down to 0 again with the flashing daggers, thankfully. And now you can see what I was mentioning earlier, which is the fact that the death blow chance is a 90, also with 145 accuracy. So you are very unlikely to miss that, even against a 50 dodge Shieldbreaker, which is really quite good. You basically cannot miss that launch. So we're gonna get hit by a chop here, and it does hurt us quite a bit, but I do still have my regen, and now that we are on the same number of characters, I do still have a healer, and I mean a direct healer, and I do still have the Flagellant here with that regen, and also the Redeem to be used soon, so that's good. But then again, my opponent has a very healthy Leper, which can basically drop me down to 0 HP with any action, because he did use Revenge, and also a very healthy Arbalest with a Silver Syringe, so even a better healing trinket than the Medic's Full Plate, and she can also do some serious damage with her sniper shots here. So let's see, they're gonna drop a Polo, which is probably gonna drop me down to 0, but since I do get to go first now, I'm quite happy. So I did not get to go first at the start, but because my Jester died before I was able to use his action, I started going first, which is good. It is quite good. So here I just drop a Panic Dars, because I didn't feel like there was any point in going Shadow Fade, because I would just get exposed and that would be totally pointless. There was really no point in dropping Flashing Daggers there because, yeah, sure, it would have maybe gotten rid of the Jester Corpse, but I'm not going to get rid of the Jester Corpse anytime soon. And now with the Panic Darts, I actually do some stress with the Shieldbreaker, which could matter in the long run, because she's already at 50, and now even if I had missed or something, the Blight is still there. So after a heal, she is going to still take a little bit of DOT, so instead of being at like 11 HP, she's going to be at like 7. But now she's going to go for that Serpent Sway, and I'm in a little bit of a worse spot. So here I have to decide what I want to do, but since I get to go first, I can always play more greedy with the Flashlight, and I am trying to focus this Shieldbreaker down, which is something you should be very wary of, because with a healer and the Shieldbreaker actually having used her Serpent Sway, now she actually has dodge, she has 2 Aegis blocks, so she is a very, very difficult character to punch through, but I will try regardless. So here I can either drop an Exsanguinate or I can drop a Redeem. I drop an Exsanguinate on the Leopard to just get some counter pressure going, and now in 2 turns, maybe, yeah, 2 turns for sure, he will be dropping to, I think, 0 HP. I'm not sure if 9 goes up to 11. I'm not actually sure about that on the numbers, because Revenge does make you take more damage from DOT, but I'm not too sure. So here, my opponent goes for the Puncture, which was definitely the correct play, because I wanted to go for a stun and then Flashing Daggers or whatever. I did not want to have to go Shadow Fade here, but now I have also another advantage. Yeah, the match just goes by super quickly when Shep isn't commentating the reasoning behind every single action, but I go for a Shadow Fade here, and the reason it works is because now the Shieldbreaker is not going to go first, and since you already used her action, my Shadow Fade will actually be useful. But now I drop a Zealous here. I did not want to drop a stun, and why did I not want to drop a stun actually? Let me think about it for a second. I could have dropped a stun there, but no, what I wanted to do was make Violet here have a decision to do. Either you heal the Shieldbreaker, or you heal the Leper, and one of them's going to be at Death's Door, right? And so you have to kind of like make your choice, choose which character goes down. But sadly, I did not hit that Shieldbreaker despite having like an 83% hit chance, so I'm just going to have to go for the stun now. And now she can get healed, but it's not the end of the world, because I am putting a lot of pressure away from me and onto my opponent's side. Now, even though I do drop the stun there, what they can do is go for a flare. At this point, they could have flared, remove the stun, and remove my stealth. But if they did that, I would probably get a 90% death blow chance. Actually, it wouldn't be a 90 because I haven't used melee skills, but yeah, I just used the Shadow Fade, so it would be a 70 instead. But, you know, 70% chance of getting a death blow, that means that the Shieldbreaker would probably be gone after it. So I just decided to drop a Panic Darts here on the Leopard to just once again do some more counter pressure. Make sure that the Leopard isn't able to just drop his chops and heals freely. Make sure that he has to go for heals and all that. And with Affliction, he could also be put in a really rough spot here. My idea is that since I go first, I can just go for an action like this. I can drop some kind of offensive action on the Shieldbreaker, and then I can go for the death blow. I will decide to drop a Punish here, which is greedy. I'm gonna have a chance of dying after it, so there was definitely a play in me just dropping the Panic Darts on the Shieldbreaker rather than the Leopard. But I think that if I did that, then both my characters at the front line would have dropped the Death Door, because he would have been able to just drop the heal freely, and it wouldn't have been great. But now you can see that my death blow chance is going to be really quite good. It's a 90, which can still fail. Let's be honest here. I've seen 90s fail, and if that 90 fails, you are pretty much losing the match, but it's a lot better having a 90 than just having a 50-50. It's going to win you way more matches. So there goes a huge 20% chance of getting a death blow, and now they do not get it, I have essentially a confirmed win chance here, because I still have my Crusader for healing, and I still have my Flashlight here just having a very good time. Of course, with the setup I have on the Grave Robber, she does not have Pick to the Face, but she kind of needs all the other abilities, because you need Shadow Fade, obviously. You definitely need Flashing Daggers, because that's kind of the idea behind this team, and you need Lunge to actually get those death blows. What you could sacrifice is Panic Darts, but if you sacrifice Panic Darts, as you saw in the second match that we just played, you are pretty much unable to do any sort of damage, because that Manarum's at 75% protection, and with that amount of protection, it's not like you're an Arbalist. You can't go Flare, you can't go for heals on other characters, you can't bypass some of that prod, you're just not gonna have a good time. However, our thing's over, because with the crit Solemnity for 44, I was definitely a little bit annoyed at that. I was like, okay, it's not the end of the world, but I am kind of annoyed. I just decided to drop a Shadow Fade here, because after I do that, you're gonna see the absolute damage that Flashing Arrows can actually do, because Shadow Fade gives you double damage, and double damage on an ability that hits 2 characters and only has a minus 20% damage mod is quite gnarly. But she's just gonna go for the flare and, you know, just ruin my fun. I really wanted to show off that Flashing Daggers were there, but oh well. Now I can just drop stun after punish, and if they go for a heal, they won't have their action. If they don't go for a heal, they're gonna eat a lot of DOT here. So even with that 44 HP, the revenge is gonna make it so they take an unbelievable amount of damage there, despite the protection, and yeah, it's not looking too good here. So they're just gonna go for, let's see, what does this Arbals wanna do? She's just gonna go for a bullet, gets a double crit ball. I do remember that one, yeah. She does get a double crit bullet, which I was not too happy about. But now I'm able to just drop this slapper and I will most likely get a kill with the launch, but I decide not to do it for some bizarre reason. I could have just dropped the punish there after a punish, even if it wasn't enough DOT. I could have just dropped the Zealous, and then I could just go for a death blow with the launch again, and then I would have a 90% chance of getting a death blow. So I'm not sure exactly why I didn't do that. But I guess I do still have 2 death blow chances here. I have a 25 and a 50, so I should still be able to get to death blow at this point. So kind of a weird play by me, but oh well. I'll just playing this by very quickly, and we do get the death blow on that flapper, and at this point it's completely impossible for Violet to win the match. So yeah, definitely well played to my opponents, and well-balanced Stiletto Grave Robber is quite decent. I played her in another team. I had a Leper, a Shield Breaker, the Grave Robber, and then I also had an Arbalest. So that team had no accuracy, which was kind of annoying, but it also worked kind of well because both the Shield Breaker, the Grave Robber, and the Arbalest can all use abilities that move back, so it was quite nice. But the team was a little bit boring because it wasn't really a Shield Breaker team, it was a Leper team with an Arbalest, and I feel like I've played the Leper and Arbalest quite enough at this point, so I didn't really feel like covering it with a video. So now we're just abusing this this poor little Arbalest, and I don't know why opponents don't surrender at this point. There's definitely no shame in surrendering when you see that the condition of winning is you know, essentially not there anymore. So now we get to just go for another ability, and look at the stuns we're getting, by the way. Just stun after stun, 45% prot on this Crusader. But at this point, getting the, you know, it's just overkill. She's gone anyway, so getting stuns with crits doesn't really matter too much. But now we get to drop this lunge and finish the match righteously. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed the video.